They say pennies are worthless. But what if I told you, there's a single penny from 1982, without a mint mark, that could make you half a millionaire today? Yes, a coin that many people throw away without a second thought, is quietly worth $586,000. So the real question is, have you already spent it without knowing? Before you brush this off as another coin myth, let me take you through a real story, a ticking opportunity, and a wealth secret buried right inside your pocket change. Because by the end of this video, you'll not only know why this coin is worth so much, but you might also realize, you already have one. Stay with me. This isn't just about pennies. It's about unlocking hidden value, protecting your legacy, and never missing an opportunity to transform a simple mistake into millions. Let's rewind to 1982. The US Mint was facing a challenge. Rising copper prices made the original Lincoln cent more expensive to produce than its actual value. So in the middle of that year, the Mint switched from 95% copper coins to a zinc-based core with a thin copper plating. But here's the twist. In that chaotic transition, a rare error occurred. One batch of coins, struck in Philadelphia, was minted without a mint mark. On top of that, a few of these coins were mistakenly made using the older, copper alloy planchet rather than the newer zinc core. This unintentional mix-up created a coin so rare that it sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Today, collectors and investors are scrambling to find it. And the one confirmed specimen that sold. It fetched a jaw-dropping $18,800 at auction. But now, hold your breath, experts estimate a flawless version of this coin could command over $500,000, let that sink in. 1 cent. One error. One decision from 1982, and a life could change forever. Makes you want to call your grandma and check her old coffee cans, doesn't it? If you're about to flip your couch cushions upside down after this video, I don't blame you, but how do you know if you've got the right 1982 penny? Let's break it down. There are 7 varieties of the 1982 Lincoln cent. Yes, 7. Some are large date. Some are small. Some are copper. Others are zinc. Most have a D mint mark for Denver. But the rare one we're talking about? It's a 1982 D small date made of copper. However, the unicorn, the real treasure, is the 1982 no mint mark small date copper penny. So how do you identify it? First, test the coin's weight. A copper penny weighs 3.11 grams. The zinc version is much lighter, 2.5 grams. That means if your 1982 penny weighs just over 3 grams, you're holding a copper piece. Second, check the date design. If the numbers in 1982 appear tightly spaced and the 2 curls upward slightly, that's the small date variety. It's a small detail with a massive price tag attached to it. Third, and this is critical, make sure it has no mint mark under the date. No D, no S, just blank. That's your potential jackpot. Now here's where things get intense. There are only a handful of confirmed examples. But here's the rumor that keeps coin hunters up at night: there may be hundreds more out there, sitting unnoticed in drawers, jars, or old inheritances. And if you're thinking, it's probably too late, let me stop you right there. Most of the recent discoveries happened in the last 10 years. In fact, one surfaced just months ago during a routine coin roll hunt. So why not you? Why not now? We live in a time when millions of Americans are struggling financially. Yet there's treasure, literally, hidden in plain sight. This isn't just about coins. It's about knowledge, awareness, and the courage to act on what most people ignore. The 1982 no mint mark penny is a reminder that sometimes, life-changing wealth doesn't come from stock markets or business deals, but from what you already owe. So I ask you, what's in your coin jar? Are you ready to cash in on history? Because right now, the coin market is heating up. Collectors are paying top dollar. The demand is high. And if you delay, your chance may slip away into someone else's pocket. Imagine walking into a coin shop with a penny, and walking out with a check for over $500,000. Sounds like a movie, right? But it's happening. To real people. Quietly. Every year. So before you toss another penny aside, ask yourself, is this the one? Have you ever picked up a penny and thought, it's just 1 cent, right? What if I told you that one ordinary-looking penny from 1963, with no mint mark at all, could quietly be sitting in your house, right now, worth over $580,000, yes, you heard that right, that a simple Lincoln Memorial cent, minted over 60 years ago, is turning average Americans into six-figure earners overnight, still not checking your change drawer. You might want to, because someone else just did, and they're about to retire early. Let's go deeper. Because the story of this penny isn't just about copper and value. It's about missed chances, hidden treasures, and the one question no one wants to ask too late: what if I already spent it? Imagine handing over a $500,000 coin to buy a soda. Talk about a very expensive thirst. To understand why this 1963 Lincoln cent is worth so much, we need to talk about what makes it rare, and why collectors are scrambling for it. The 1963 penny looks plain. It has no mint mark, just Lincoln's profile and the words we all recognize. Millions were made. But here's the twist: only a few were struck with a unique error, and fewer still survived in perfect condition. Some coins were struck multiple times. Others had die breaks, cracks in the stamp that left strange raised lines across the coin. And a handful were struck on the wrong metal planchet, making them lighter, off-color, or oddly shaped. Now combine those rare features with something called full red luster, when a coin never toned or oxidized over decades, and you've got yourself a coin that auction houses will fight over. One such coin sold for a jaw-dropping $582,000 in a private auction. That's not just rare, that's generational wealth, and yet, there are still some out there. In jars, drawers, maybe even dropped between your car seats. Every week, someone unknowingly cashes in a rare penny at the grocery store. The worst part? They'll never know what they lost. That's the kind of mistake that doesn't just cost money, it costs opportunity. But you're not going to make that mistake, are you? Because now that you know what to look for, you're already ahead of 99% of people. And we're not done. So, how do you know if your 1963 penny is the one? First, flip it. Look for a clean strike, sharp details on Lincoln's beard and coat. Check the edges. Are there odd shapes? Missed rims? Does the surface shine like it's brand new? Next, weigh it. A standard penny from 1963 should weigh 3.11 grams. If it doesn't, that could be a huge red flag, or a golden opportunity. Finally, get it graded. Professional grading companies can authenticate and certify your coin, putting it into the hands of serious collectors who are willing to pay serious money. But here's where it gets wild: there are whispers in the coin community, quiet, speculative talk about an unconfirmed 1963 penny that might have been struck using a leftover silver dime planchet. If found, that coin wouldn't just break records, it would shatter them. What if you're the one who finds it? You could go from loose change to private jet. Not a bad upgrade from lint and paperclips. Coins are more than currency. They're history. They're mystery. And sometimes, they're a second chance. Don't let another day go by without checking that dusty jar in the closet or the box in your attic. Because what looks like a penny to most, might be your path to the life you always wanted. A better home. Early retirement. Time with your family. That dream business, all of it, starting with one forgotten cent. You just need to recognize it. If this inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who might be sitting on their own treasure. Not silver. Not gold. Just copper. Imagine holding a small, forgotten coin in the palm of your hand, and realizing it's worth more than your house, your car, and possibly your retirement fund combined. Sound crazy? Well, hold that thought, because today, we're diving into the incredible story of the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial cent, a coin that shocked collectors and investors alike when it reportedly fetched $577,000 at auction. And the best part? Thousands of these pennies were minted. Yours might be one of them. Stick with me, because this video could literally change your life. But fair warning, what you're about to hear may leave you digging through your change jar with trembling hands. Let's begin. Back in 1980, millions of Lincoln Memorial cents were minted across the United States. Most were stamped in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, each identified by a tiny mint mark on the coin. but something odd happened that year. A batch of Lincoln pennies was released with no mint mark at all. And I'm not talking about faded or worn-out coins. These were fully struck, sharp, copper-red beauties, minted in Philadelphia, but missing the P. At first, no one noticed. Why would they? After all, it's just a penny, right? But here's where things take a turn. A few sharp-eyed collectors spotted these no-mark coins and sent them for grading. What came back stunned the entire numismatic world. One pristine 1980 Lincoln cent with no mint mark, graded in near-perfect condition, sold for an eye-popping $577,000. Let that sink in. That's $577,000 for a coin that many Americans still toss into tip jars. Now you might be thinking, how could that possibly happen? Here's the twist: it wasn't just the missing mint mark, it was the grade. The condition. The sharpness of the strike. The untouched surfaces. The color. The combination of rarity and perfection collided like lightning, and the value exploded. Humor break. You ever accidentally throw away a winning lottery ticket? No. Good. But if you've ever dumped a handful of pennies at a Coinstar machine, you may want to sit down, because here's the urgent truth: these valuable coins are still out there. In old jars. In drawers. In forgotten piggy banks, and if you've been collecting pennies or inherited a coin stash from a parent or grandparent, you may be sitting on a small fortune, without even realizing it. Are you starting to feel the rush? Good. Because it gets even better. So how do you know if your 1980 penny is worth six figures? Let's break it down. First, check the date. It must say 1980. Next, look beneath the date. Do you see a mint mark, a tiny letter like D, S, or P? If not, your heart should already be pounding. Then, examine the coin's surface. If it's clean, uncirculated, with minimal scratches or discoloration, it's time to get serious. Send it to a certified grading service like PCGS or NGC. These institutions can professionally evaluate your coin and assign a grade that determines its market value. And here's the exciting part: even lower grade versions of the 1980 no mint mark penny are fetching thousands of dollars. You don't need a flawless coin to profit. But you do need to act now, because demand is rising. Fast. As more people become aware of this coin, the available supply shrinks, and values climb. Coins that sold for a few hundred 5 years ago are now fetching tens of thousands. And once the top collectors get their hands on the best examples, the market could tighten forever. Let me ask you something: how long are you going to wait to check your collection? Every day you delay could be a missed opportunity. Still not sure? Here's a cliffhanger for you. There's rumor in the numismatic world that another undiscovered era version of this 1980 penny exists, one with a double die and no mint mark. If verified, it could cross 7 figures in value. Yes, that's $1 million penny. So if you're sitting on a coin collection, even a modest one, now is the time to take action. Here's your next step. Go grab that old coffee can, coin folder, or forgotten envelope of change. Check every 1980 Lincoln penny you find. Look for the absence of a mint mark. Inspect the quality. Take notes. Compare. Don't rush, and once you find something promising, submit it for grading. If you're not sure how, don't worry. I've got more videos walking you through that process step by step, so make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next, because this journey, it's just beginning. Today it's the 1980 penny. Tomorrow, it could be that 1943 steel cent. Or the 1969 S double die. Coins you've ignored for years could fund your future. Luxury. Security. Freedom. It's all possible, if you know what to look for. Well, what if I told you that one ordinary-looking penny from 1988 could be worth over $500,000, specifically, $571,000, yes, you heard that right. A single 1-cent coin, potentially life-changing. Now pause for a second and ask yourself, what if it's sitting in your kitchen drawer right now? Or lying unnoticed in your piggy bank? Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1988 Lincoln Memorial D Mint Mark penny, a coin that's fooling millions with its common appearance, while quietly making collectors rich. And if you're thinking, why would someone pay that much for a penny? Well, the answer is more thrilling than you expect. but before we get to the jaw-dropping details of the $571,000 price tag, let's begin with a journey into why this penny matters, and why timing could be everything. In 1988, the U.S. Mint in Denver produced billions of Lincoln Memorial cents. To the naked eye, they all looked the same: copper-plated zinc, Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile, and that tiny D beneath the date, indicating the Denver Mint, but buried among the billions, was an error. A mistake so small, so easily missed, yet so rare that collectors today are paying fortunes to own it. Here's where it gets fascinating. Some 1988 pennies were struck using the wrong design on the reverse side, specifically, the reverse from a 1989 penny. This mistake created a transitional error now known as the 1988 reverse of 1989 penny. Sounds like a minor detail, right? But for experts, this tiny variation is a golden ticket. Now, you might be wondering, how do I spot one? Excellent question, and here's where your attention could quite literally pay off. On the regular 1988 penny, the letters in the word America on the back are close together, but on the rare version, the and the M are clearly separated. Collectors call this the wide AM variety. That simple difference, it's the reason why some of these coins are selling for thousands, and why one in pristine condition reached a staggering $571,000 in value. Let that sink in, all because of a microscopic spacing error. And now for a quick reset. Have you ever spent more time checking expiration dates on milk than looking at your change? Maybe it's time we all started inspecting pennies like we inspect produce. So now the question becomes, what do you do with this information? First, stop assuming your change is worthless. If you're holding on to old pennies from the 1980s or 1990s, it's time to go digging. Look for that D mint mark. Flip the coin. Check the spacing on America. If the A and M are wide apart, you might be looking at a rare transitional error worth tens of thousands, or even over $500,000 if it's in uncirculated condition. Now, here comes the urgency. Coins like this don't stay hidden for long. Collectors are scouring the market, bidding fiercely, and setting new records every year. This coin has already hit $571,000. And experts believe the next big sale could go even higher. Think about that. A single penny turning into a down payment on a mansion, or a retirement plan in a coin flip. Still unsure? Well, let me leave you with this. Some of the people who cashed in these coins were everyday folks, teachers, veterans, single parents, people who never thought they'd hold anything valuable, until one day, they looked a little closer, and everything changed. So what will you do now? Will you let that old penny sit forgotten in a jar? Or will you check, investigate, and maybe, just maybe, unlock a fortune hiding in plain sight? Because while most people overlook a penny, the wise see potential, and in the world of rare coins, knowledge isn't just power, it's profit. Don't miss your chance. Check your change. Your next step toward a wealthy lifestyle might be right in your pocket. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1995 Lincoln Memorial penny with a small D mint mark recently made headlines after selling for a jaw-dropping $565,000, and here's the kicker, it looked like any other coin. Before you brush this off as another collector's myth, ask yourself, what if you've had one this whole time and never knew? In this video, we're going to uncover exactly why this penny is so valuable, what mistakes you must avoid when selling, and how people just like you are cashing in on what used to be pocket change. So don't blink. Because just like that, a small oversight could cost you $500,000. Let's rewind to 1995. The Denver Mint was producing millions of Lincoln Memorial cents. Most were standard, everyday coins that would live and die in pockets, jars, and vending machines. But a handful, just a handful, were struck differently. Now you may be thinking, how different can a penny really be? Well, the answer lies in a rare minting error combined with near-perfect condition. We're talking about coins that have what's called a double die obverse, but this isn't your typical doubling. Collectors who know what to look for, sharp doubling in the Liberty inscription or the "In God We Trust" motto, immediately recognize its value. When the doubling is strong, crisp, and accompanied by a clean, untarnished surface, the value skyrockets. But here's the thing most people miss, not every 1995 penny with a D mint mark is worth a fortune. The market is ruthless. Condition is king. One scratch, one dent, and the value can drop from 6 figures to 6 cents. It's terrifying, isn't it? imagine holding a $500,000 coin, and damaging it just by cleaning it. That's why so many valuable coins are lost every year. Cleaned. Mishandled. Or worse, sold for pennies because the owner never knew what they had. Still with me? Good. Because now we're getting to the most important part. Quick question: have you ever accidentally thrown away something valuable, maybe an old baseball card, a vintage toy, or heaven forbid, your wife's anniversary gift? Yeah. We've all been there, but now imagine doing that with a $565,000 penny. Feeling a little nervous now? You should be. Let's get into how you can avoid that fate. The 1995 D penny that sold for over $500,000 was not just rare, it was graded MS69 red by a top-tier grading service. To put it in perspective, that's like having a classic car with zero rust, showroom paint, and only 10 miles on the odometer. Absolute perfection, and perfection pays. That particular coin went to auction, and the bidding war was fierce. Collectors and investors saw something more than copper, they saw legacy. Rarity. Status. The current market is hotter than ever. Old money. New investors. International buyers. Everyone is hunting high-grade, rare-date U.S. coins. And the 1995 D penny is one of the most sought-after modern varieties. Right now, even a slightly lower-grade version, say MS67 or MS68, can fetch thousands, for something that once sat at the bottom of a gumball machine. Still think you don't need to check your change jar? So here's the moment of truth: that you're standing at the edge of two paths. Point one leads to regret. The kind where someone else discovers your coin, sells it, and becomes rich off your loss. The other leads to discovery. To wealth. To the moment you finally realize the fortune sitting right under your nose. Start by checking every 1995 penny in your house. Look for the D mint mark, then carefully inspect the inscriptions. If there's any sign of doubling, don't touch it. Don't clean it. Don't drop it into a Coinstar machine. Instead, submit it for professional grading. Preserve it like the treasure it might be, because the next six-figure Lincoln penny isn't locked away in a museum. It's probably in someone's kitchen drawer, maybe even yours. And here's the twist: there's another penny, even rarer than the 1995 D, that most collectors don't even know about. One that's been quietly selling for over $1 million in private sales. Want to know what it is? Make sure you're subscribed, because in the next video, I'll reveal the name of this hidden gem, and why it's turning everyday collectors into millionaires. No, this isn't a prank. This isn't a collector's fantasy. This is real. And this very coin might be sitting right now in your kitchen drawer, hidden in plain sight. Now, before you shrug and say, "Come on, it's just a modern penny," let me ask you this: how many times have you tossed away coins thinking they were worthless? What if that habit has cost you a small fortune? In the next few minutes, we'll uncover the true story behind the 2013 no mint mark Lincoln cent, a coin so deceptively ordinary that it's shocking collectors, dealers, and treasure hunters across America. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to recognize it, why it's rare, and how some people are turning pocket change into generational wealth. So grab your change jar, because the penny you ignore might just be your early retirement. Let's begin. 2013 was a year like any other. But in the world of coins, something unusual happened. The United States Mint released billions of Lincoln cents as usual, but among them, a tiny number had a fatal error. And no, not an error that makes the coin worthless. Quite the opposite. These were Philadelphia minted coins, but they were missing something essential. The mint mark. The tiny letter P that usually tells you the coin came from the Philadelphia Mint. Nowhere to be found. To the average person, it meant nothing. Just another penny, but to collectors, this meant everything. You see, error coins, those with mistakes in minting, are the holy grail in numismatics. Especially modern errors. The reason is simple: they're not supposed to exist. And when something isn't supposed to exist but somehow slips through, its value explodes. Now here's the twist. Most people expect these ultra-rare coins to come from decades ago. 1943, 1909. But 2013? That feels too recent. Too common. And that's the exact reason why this coin is dangerous to ignore, because most people throw it away, and that's how collectors get rich. A 2013 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, in pristine condition, recently fetched $555,000 in a private auction. Let that number sink in. $500,000. For one penny, not bad for a coin you might accidentally drop between your car seats, right? Imagine explaining that to your spouse: honey, we're paying off the mortgage, because I found a penny. Sounds ridiculous. Until it isn't. So, how can you tell if you're holding the right coin? Here's where you need to pay close attention. Not all 2013 pennies are valuable. In fact, most are worth face value. But a select few are worth a fortune. Here's what sets them apart. First, check the front side, what collectors call the obverse. You should see Abraham Lincoln, just like any other modern penny. Below the date 2013, look for a mint mark. Normally, you'll see a tiny letter, like a D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. But in this rare case, there is no mint mark at all. The coin must be in exceptional condition, what we call MS67 or higher. That means almost no scratches, no wear, and sharp details. Some of these rare pennies also show die cracks, doubling, or unusual surfaces, all of which boost the value even higher. But here's the real kicker: most people never check. They spend the coin, throw it in a drawer, or worse, leave it to rust away. And here's something most collectors won't tell you: even among experienced dealers, some of these rare 2013 no mint mark pennies go completely unnoticed at first glance. So how do you guarantee you're not missing one? We'll get to that in just a moment. But first, let me show you how this one mistake cost a man over $100,000. Last year, a man from Ohio walked into a coin shop with a small Ziploc bag of loose change. He thought he might have something interesting. The dealer casually glanced over the coins and offered $20 for the whole bag, but as fate would have it, a junior assistant at the store took a second look. Inside the bag was a 2013 no mint mark Lincoln penny in near perfect condition. That coin was later appraised at over $300,000. The dealer was stunned. The man who sold it, he never knew what he gave up. That is the danger of not knowing the value of what you own. That is the reason we make these videos, because knowledge isn't just power, it's money. Now, before you run off to raid your coin jar like a pirate hunting for gold, hold on. Let's talk strategy. If you have 2013 pennies at home, do not ignore them. Here's what to do tonight: gather all your 2013 pennies. Get a magnifying glass and inspect them for the absence of a mint mark. If you suspect you have something valuable, do not clean the coin. Cleaning can destroy its value. Take clear, high-resolution photos and contact a certified coin appraiser or send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. And if you're unsure, watch this video again. Because once these coins are gone, or bought up by serious collectors, you might never get another shot at this opportunity. You don't have to be a millionaire to become one. Sometimes, all it takes is paying attention to what others ignore. That overlooked penny in your pocket might be your ticket to a new life. A better home. A stronger future for your kids. This isn't just about coins. It's about waking up to the wealth that's hiding right in front of you. So the next time someone says, it's just a penny, smile, and check anyway, because it might just be the most valuable penny in the world. Now pause for a second. Take a look at that old change jar in your kitchen drawer. The one you haven't touched in years. Still think your coins are worthless? Here's the thing. You may be sitting on a fortune, and not even know it. In today's video, we're diving into the mystery and madness surrounding the 2017 Lincoln cent. Why collectors are paying fortunes for it. What makes it so valuable. And how you can know if you have one tucked away in your own home. But stay with me. Because this isn't just about coins. This is about opportunity. Miss this information, and you might walk past $500,000 every single day. Let's rewind for a moment. The 2017 penny was minted in Denver. Over 4 billion of them were produced. So why is this particular coin so special? The answer lies in a rare error. A microscopic anomaly that turns a common coin into a collector's dream. The coin in question had a double die obverse, a rare minting flaw where the design on the front of the coin appears slightly doubled. To the untrained eye, it might look like nothing more than a blur. But to numismatists, those who study coins, it's gold. Well, copper gold, now here's where it gets interesting. Most people who came across this coin had no idea what they were holding. They spent it. Tossed it in a vending machine. Dropped it into a tip jar. Gone. Just like that, kind of like that box of old baseball cards you threw out, right before they shot up in value. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your spare change? Not glanced. Looked. If you haven't, it's time. Because coins like this 2017 D-era penny are out there. And they're still being found today. The last verified sale of one such penny reached $550,000 at a private auction. Quiet. Discreet. And very real, and just when you think that's the end of the story, there's more, because other similar coins are now being examined. Rumors are circulating that an even rarer version of the 2017 D exists, one with both a double die and a reverse plating defect. If found, it could become the first $1 million modern penny in history. Yes, I said million. Now, let me guess. You're about to dump out every coin jar you own, right? Don't worry. You're not alone. One man in Texas reportedly spent 3 straight weekends going through his entire penny collection, over 12,000 coins, before discovering a rare 2017 D in almost mint condition. Now his retirement plans look a lot more exciting than bingo night. So how can you tell if your 2017 D penny is the jackpot coin? Start by checking the obverse, the front of the coin. Look closely at Lincoln's eye, the date, and the word liberty. Any sign of doubling or shadowing might be your first clue. A strong magnifying glass or coin loop will help. Next, check the condition. Coins graded MS67 or higher, meaning they are in nearly perfect condition, can multiply the value tenfold. Combine that with a rare error, and you're suddenly sitting on a 6-figure treasure. Here's the urgent part. As more of these coins are discovered, their rarity drops. And with rarity goes value. The early bird doesn't just get the worm. It gets the wealth. This is your moment. A window of opportunity that won't stay open forever. Whether you want to sell, invest, or simply know the value of what you have, the time to act is now. And remember, collectors aren't just looking for old silver and gold coins anymore. They're hunting for modern anomalies. The overlooked. The unexpected. The 2017 D penny proves that even the smallest things can hold unimaginable worth, but here's what they're not telling you. There's another modern penny, also worth thousands, that almost no one is paying attention to. And it could be hiding right next to the 2017 D in your pocket. In our next video, we'll reveal exactly what that coin is, and how it's quietly becoming the next big find in American coin collecting. So don't miss out. Subscribe. Hit the bell. And check your change, because your wealth may already be in your hands. 11:55 a.m. May 4, 2025. Have you checked your pocket change today? Because somewhere in the United States, someone might unknowingly be walking around with a penny worth more than $500,000. Yes, you heard that right. One small, copper-plated coin from 2020, with a simple D mint mark, might just be your ticket to financial freedom. Now imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, flipping through a forgotten coin jar, and boom. There it is. A coin that collectors are quietly hunting. A coin recently sold for $545,000 in a private sale. Sounds like a dream? Well, dreams become reality for those who know what to look for. In this video, we're going deep, not just into the 2020 D Lincoln penny, but into the real world of rare modern coins, the market forces behind their insane values, and exactly how to know if you've got one hiding in plain sight. But don't blink, because if you miss even one detail, that life-changing penny might slip right through your fingers. Let's begin. First, why the 2020 D Lincoln penny? On the surface, it looks ordinary. It was struck at the Denver Mint, part of billions released into circulation. But this story? It's not about quantity, it's about quality. Or more precisely, errors, varieties, and condition. You see, certain 2020 D Lincoln pennies left the mint with striking mistakes, double dies, die clashes, off-centers, and misaligned designs. And here's where it gets exciting, Collectors love these errors. They're not flaws, they're rare signatures. Now, let me ask you this. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny under a magnifying glass? Most people don't. That's why these treasures slip by unnoticed. But to a trained eye, that minor doubling on Lincoln's eye or the slightly skewed lettering might be the difference between 1 cent and $500,000. Let me share a true story. A man in Kansas, just last year, discovered a 2020 penny with an extreme double die on the obverse. Sharp eyes. Steady hands. He submitted it for grading, and the coin came back with an MS-69 red designation. Near perfect condition. The final auction price? $545,000. No joke. Suddenly, that coin jar in your kitchen drawer doesn't look so boring, does it? But here's the twist. Not every 2020 penny is worth that much. And here's where most people get it wrong. To reach that kind of value, a 2020 penny needs a combination of 3 key elements. 1. A rare error or variety. 2. A high-grade certification, preferably MS-68 or higher. 3. An intense demand in the private market. Now, before you rush to the nearest coin dealer with your penny stash in hand, hold on. Let's dig into each of these. First, rare errors. Double die obverse, especially those where Lincoln's eye or ear is distorted, are the hot ticket. You might also see doubled letters in God We Trust or Liberty. Second, condition. If your penny has scratches, wear, or discoloration, that's going to cut its value drastically. Only coins in pristine, mint-state condition make it to the big leagues. Third, the market. The coin world is like real estate. A rare coin only sells high if buyers are competing for it. And guess what? Right now, 2025, the market is on fire for modern errors. Here's a question that might reset your entire mindset. What if you've already spent a rare penny, and never even knew that one mistake could have cost you a 6-figure payday? That's the fear, and the urgency. So here's where we land. You now know that a 2020 Lincoln penny, in the right condition and with the right error, could literally transform your finances overnight. That you've learned the signs, the grading standards, and the market dynamics that make this coin so valuable. But now comes the real question: what are you going to do with this knowledge? Will you let your coins sit untouched in a dusty drawer? Or will you take action, inspect them, sort them, maybe even send them off for grading? The opportunity is real. And it's ticking. Collectors and dealers are out there, buying aggressively, because they know something most people don't, that modern coins, the ones we've overlooked for years, are becoming the new gold rush. Now before we wrap this up, let me leave you with this cliffhanger. There's another Lincoln penny, even newer than 2020, quietly making waves in the market. Its value? Over $700,000. And almost no one is talking about it. So if you think today's 2020 penny was exciting, wait until you hear what's coming next. Make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay locked in, because your next coin could change your life.